Hey, what's up everybody? Wanted to do a quick video on a topic I see being discussed on several different forums now. But first I want to give a quick shout out to my brother Harry and my sister Brenda over at monstersnakeforums.com. This year they are really raising the bar when it comes to retic morphs and retic breeding. They are producing so many never before seen animals. It's just ridiculous, man. So I just want to wish them the best of luck. Also, if you're not a member of monstersnakeforums.com, get over there, get registered. We have some of the most knowledgeable people when it comes to keeping reptiles. It's just ridiculous, man. And you don't have to be a giant snake keeper, to be a member. So get to monstersnakeforums.com and get registered. Back on topic. I see a lot of people who are under the assumption that if you feed a snake in its cage, that it will become cage aggressive. So what they're doing is they're taking their snakes from the cage, placing them in a separate container, and feeding them. That is a load of crap. And especially if you deal with large constrictors or any snake species that's big enough to pose a potential threat or danger to a human, that is definitely a big no-no. This is where proper hook training comes in. I mean, I myself, I don't use a snake hook, but what I do use is a roll of paper towels, or I believe it's an old broomstick or something, but it's something that puts a good distance between me and my snake, so that way if she does decide to strike thinking that I'm food, I have a good space between us. And I just basically rub them for about 35 or 40 seconds to let them know that it's not dinner time. I do have one snake that is very hard to break out of her feeding response. It's just so high. So I just have to be extra careful with her and keep my eye on her. I know that there are some cases and some situations where some snakes do get accustomed to the sound of an opening cage door and associate that with being fed. But like I stated before, this is really where proper hook training comes in. Myself, I see no pros to this practice. I don't see why you would remove a snake from its cage to place it into a separate container to feed it. I mean, one, you run the risk of that snake regurgitating its meal. We all know that snakes should not be handled immediately after eating, so you run the risk of that snake regurgitating that meal while you're trying to put it back in its cage or what have you. Secondly, you're dealing with an animal that is in food mode and can potentially cause your death, and you're trying to put that animal back in its cage or take it out of its cage. That doesn't seem like the smart thing to do. And last but not least is just the sheer weight and size of some of these animals. I mean, we're talking about some snakes that are over 15 feet long and weigh a couple hundred pounds. And just handling my big girls really does a number on my back, so I couldn't imagine removing them from their cage to feed them on a bi-weekly or monthly basis like that, back and forth. It just seems very impractical to me. Like I said, please feed your snakes in its cage and learn proper hook training techniques. When you're talking about removing an animal and feeding it in a separate container, you're just asking for trouble, really. There's no practical reasons for that, and a lot of people end up getting hurt like that. I mean, you have an animal that's ready to eat, or it just ate and is still in food mode, and you're trying to maneuver it and get it back into its cage. It's a very dangerous situation. So please, people, please, it doesn't matter if it's a corn snake or a ball python, feed your snake in its cage. Taking it out of its cage to feed it No practical reason for it. Okay? So any questions or comments, you can post those below, and I'll try to answer them. You know, if I don't have the answer, I'm pretty sure I can find somebody that does. So as always, love your hobby, love your snakes, but please, please, please be safe about it. Thanks, y'all.